Those of you who are developing strategy with companies, take note. You can develop the best strategy in the world for a company, but nothing will change, believe me. They can spend $500,000 or $1 billion on change management programs with you, with McKinsey or anyone else, and I promise you, very little will happen. Unless they sack everyone and get a whole load of new people in, it'll be very, very difficult. Why does nothing happen? I'll tell you why. Because if they don't see the point, why will they change? And I'll tell you this too, and I've seen this over and over again in the NGO, non-profit sector, in the aid sector, which is half of my life, and the humanitarian side. You don't need change management programs. People change. They make it happen. Why? Because they get it. We can't stop new countries from starting up operations. I had a phone call the other day from Croatia. We were sitting down to dinner in our house near London Airport, the Heathrow Airport. My wife takes a phone call. She says, it's Katarina here from Heathrow Airport. She says she's from Asik, Croatia. I said, we don't have any program in Croatia. She must be mistaken. No, well, she wants to speak to you. I said, hello, she says, I Katarina, I Heathrow Airport. I come see you now. I said, excuse me, I have no idea who you are. It's lovely to speak to you. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening. I said, it's lovely to speak to you. No, she said, you understand nothing, she said. I Asset Croatia. I national director of Asset Croatia. She said, I friend of Milan and Thomas. Milan runs Asset Slovakia. Thomas runs Asset Czech. And I said, okay, now I understand. Come. Why? She didn't need a change management program. She didn't need an innovation strategy. What had happened was she'd met some friends, got hold of a vision of kicking AIDS out of her country, and decided to get on and do it without being paid a penny. Now, what I'm saying is, when you get passion, things happen. And when you don't have any passion, nothing can happen. I've been doing a survey of companies because I often follow CEOs. You see, the CEO stands up and gives a speech about the last quarter's profits and the bottom line and the return on equity and the Excel spreadsheet numbers.
Please, can we put it on the regions? Because Australia's in the region.
Anyway.
The bottom right-hand corner, the left-hand person on the picture.
Oh dear, I'm going to get into real trouble now. But let me tell you, I'm trying to do this global survey, okay? I'm trying to write a book. The book is entitled, People Who Get Out of Bed to Make Shareholder Value and Bottom Line Profit. I've had one nomination for study in the last 5 years. I'm going to have to change the title to the title of about the people who can't be found. You see, I've been looking, and it's one thing, if you've got a family-owned company, then I admit it, and then it then goes public. It's all very personal. If the company goes bust, it's like losing a baby. And one of my first companies, the first company I started, eventually stopped trading. I felt a kind of grief reaction. Yes, okay, but if it isn't that, most CEOs of publicly listed companies, what happens to them if they don't make their numbers for 2 consecutive quarters? Gone, right? So how can you expect such a CEO to have a profound emotional attachment to this publicly listed organization? You can't. And any CEO who pretends that they do, well, quite clearly there has to be more to life, doesn't there? Because you could be out through no fault of your own. Something changes in the market, the analysts don't like your last report. So if people don't get out of bed to make shareholder value and bottom line profit, then why on earth do we go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about it? As if the thought that the more we talk about bottom line profit and return on equity, the more we'll make. I would suggest to you that the fastest way to destroy shareholder value is to be so obsessed with it that we lose sight of why we exist. And why do we exist? To make money, to return on to shareholder value and bottom line profit. Maybe. I want to suggest to you that your company exists because of a promise. Who here is involved in sales? In any kind of outward-facing role, sales to clients. Right. Sorry, what's your name? Huh? Saki. Saki knows when he... Oh, I see. I'm sorry. For those of you who are watching this at home, there is an anatomical situation with his face, but I won't explain it. Okay. Listen, I wasn't meaning to be personal. Saki is aware. Saki is aware. I have one too, you see. It takes one to see. Okay, Saki is aware. Every time you go into a client, Saki, your reputation is on the line, isn't that right? Because you go in there and you say, Dimension Data, we're here to help you. I want you to know I've been thinking about your problem all night. I've been talking with some friends. We video conferenced to Cape Town and Durban this morning. I'm not saying we've got the whole answer, but we're beginning to find a way forward on this, right? Because that awful company that sorted out their systems that didn't sort themselves out, we need to refix that. Okay? And this is my promise to you. I think we're the best company in Joburg to sort this out. I think we're the best company in South Africa. And we've got a fantastic team. But the most important thing is we're passionate about sorting this out. Right? And you win the deal. Now, if Saki is any good, that's at the point you really start to worry. And you come back to the office and say, I think I've just oversold. Because I said, and I believed it at the time, that we could sort it out in 8 weeks. But actually, having had another sleep this night, I'm really thinking it could take us 3 months. And if it is 3 months, they'll be out of business. And my friend will lose his job. And so will a whole load of other people. We're going to have to really pull together on this one. Now, I want to suggest to you that every product and service is sold on the basis of a promise, right? It's a promise of what? A better life. We will sort things out so life goes better for you, right? And for your customers and your customers' customers. Therefore, I want to suggest to you that the reason why Saki gets out of bed in the morning, I hope it is not because of some share option that's enticing you to stay, but because actually you had a real concern about that client. You really want to deliver for them on time, and the first thing you did in the morning is you phone them up to do a rain check. You've got another meeting, making sure it's all on, you know what I'm saying. And your purpose is to deliver on your promise. It's a moral issue. You sold on the basis of a promise. They've signed. They've already paid over some huge amount of rounds because they actually trusted you to deliver. You started work, and you are now under a moral pressure to deliver on the promise. Agreed? That's your purpose. And you know what? If you could actually deliver on the promise, if you are one of the only IT companies in the entire world to consistently deliver on budget and time, people will come thundering to your door. I know that because I speak to hundreds and hundreds of CIOs and CTOs every year, and they always complain the same. They will come thundering to your door, and what's more, when you put in for your next price on your next project, you can load a big premium on. And the reason why they will come to you and they will buy it is because at board level, when it's about to be booted out because you're 30% more expensive than your nearest competitors, the chairman of the board says, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to risk my entire future on a shoddy cut price contract that may not deliver. And Sharky has delivered every single time. I trust him totally. I don't think he's going to... Sorry, I changed your name a bit. But that's a fact, isn't it? Isn't that? Don't you believe that's what your business is being built on? Isn't that right? And that, my friends, is the key to shareholder value and bottom line profit in an age when most people are too far away from the customer to really understand what it's all about. And everywhere I go, and it doesn't matter whether it's on the streets of Soweto or in the most luxurious parts of Zurich, in the worst slums of Kolkata, or in the most fabulous suburbs of Cape Town, I find the same. People talk to me, yes, they talk about personal happiness, they talk about fulfillment, the challenge of a job, how it's nice to be appreciated, to be part of a great team, to pull together, to have fun. Yes, all of those things, but that's not enough for passion. They also talk to me about work-life balance. They talk to me about their family, their friends, their children, their aged mother who's sick, and the reason why they might have to go back to another country, or whatever it is. They talk to me about their communities in which they live. And they talk to me about the wider world.